Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Thursday, March 30th slate of NBA action. Unfortunately, we do only have 2 games on, but I did find 2 plays that I do really like. So hopefully we can hit these plays and move on to the next day. But before we go ahead and dive into that, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 13,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So without any further ado, I did just want to go ahead and say I'm sorry that this video is going to be out a little bit later than normal. If you guys do follow me on Twitter, I was at the Bulls vs. Lakers game last night. And so I didn't end up getting home till really late. And so because of that, I couldn't do my usual video over the course of the night. So that is the reason this video is going to be out a little bit later today. But I still did want to go ahead and make one, of course. So we were super close to a same game parlay, a boots on the ground same game parlay, but unfortunately my boy Zach LaVine just really didn't have things going for him, and it was DeMar. I should have picked DeMar, you know. That's just the way that the Bulls go, though. I never pick them right. I always, you know, if I'm leaning towards Zach LaVine, it's going to be DeMar. If I lean towards DeMar, it's going to be Zach. It's unfortunately just the way it is. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap as of yesterday. So we did end up having Luka Doncic over 2.5 made threes versus the 76ers at minus 130. And this one ended up working out for us. This one was, as I had mentioned, a sheer volume play. And it ended up working out. I know that he didn't have a great game overall. I think he only had like 24 points. But regardless, that's why I picked the three-pointers. Because regardless of if he hits his 30 points or not, it does not matter. Because he's still going to shoot a ton of those threes. And all we needed him to do was knock down 3 of them. So that one ended up working out for us. I think he finished with 4 3-pointers made. Then we had Karl-Anthony Towns over 17.5 points versus Phoenix. Crushes this line. This line, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, this line was just way too low. This was a joke, and as he was starting to get his minutes back, there was no excuse for this line to be this low. So this was free money. We're never going to see another Karl-Anthony Towns line under 20. We're never going to see that again. So I'm really glad that one ended up working out. Then we had Kevin Huerter over 14.5 points versus Portland at minus 125. This one also ended up working out for us, and this one was pretty sweat-free as well. He did only finish with 17 points, but he had 14 of those in the first half. So I was feeling good. You know, of course, he started to slow things down, but he ends up hitting for us pretty early, and the Kings ended up blowing out the Portland Trailblazers. So I'm glad he ended up hitting it pretty early. But so we ended up winning those 3 plays, but then we had our added play. And I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this guy's name, but he does play for the Utah Jazz. He was on Kansas, great player. Really saw some value here. He was over 14.5. I thought that he was for sure gonna get it. He got the start. He got the 30+ minutes. But unfortunately, he finishes with just 10 points. So, you know, it is what it is. We ended up going 3-1 on our plays. We're super close to the clean sweep, bringing out the shades, bringing out the Sunnies. We had a clean sweep on our official video plays yesterday, but unfortunately for our added play, didn't end up working out. But you know, it is what it is. Ended up going 3-1 on our plays. Another day in the profit. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We do have 2 official plays as of today. These may end up being a little bit popular, especially this first one, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Our first official play of the day, we're taking Brandon Ingram over 26.5 points here versus the Denver Nuggets. I love the spot here for Brandon Ingram. He has gone over in 5 out of his last 7, and those 2 losses that he did end up having, they were right on the hook, right at 26. He's been shooting a ton of times, and I think that regardless of what kind of shot volume he's going to get today, he's going to be able to get us to 27. I love the spot here for Brandon Ingram, and he averages 2.4 more points per game on the road. So the fact that they are playing in Denver actually gives them a very slight advantage. I love the spot here for him, and Denver also allows the 5th most points per game to opposing small forwards in the last 15 games. So, despite Denver being a very solid defense all year long, this is a spot where over the last 15 games, over the last like 2 to 3 weeks, they've given up a lot of points to that small forward position. And truthfully, Denver also allows the 8th most points from the 2-pointers. So, with that being said, Brandon Ingram only averages 3.9 three-pointers attempted per game. So at most, he's going to give you right around 4 or 5 threes. If he's going to knock some of those down, that's just a bonus because the Nuggets, they do a really good job of guarding the perimeter. but not necessarily as much in the paint and the mid-range, which is where Brandon Ingram does his thing. Brandon Ingram loves to get into the paint. He loves to finish around the rim. He loves to shoot mid-ranges. And so with that being said, I think that Brandon Ingram should be able to eat versus this Denver defense. And not to mention, this is a pretty must-win game here for the New Orleans Pelicans. They are in a three-way tie for the 8th spot in the conference, and if they want to make the playoffs, they're going to need a win here. And while I don't know if it'll happen, if they even come close, it's going to have to be because of Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. So I really love the spot here. I think that Brandon Ingram does end up getting it done here for us. We're asking for 27. I think that he can get as close to 30. So that is going to be our first official play of the day. Brandon Ingram over 26.5 points here versus Denver. Now for our second official play of the day, we are taking I can't believe I'm about to say this. We're going with Giannis under 55.5 PRAs here versus Boston at minus 109 odds. Now, this game matters just a little bit more to the Boston Celtics. They are currently 3 games behind the Bucks in the conference, so it is going to matter just a little bit more to the Boston Celtics. And the season series is a split right now, so it's split 1-1. And if Boston wants to have a chance and tie this thing up, they would of course get the advantage in the playoffs if they were to take this win. So I think that this is a really good spot here. I think that the Boston Celtics are going to need this win. They have a little bit of turmoil, of course, behind the scenes with the whole Jaylen Brown thing, but I really don't think that that's going to matter too much. I think that this is going to be a game where they're going to need everybody to step up, and I think that they do. He has also gone under in 6 out of his last 7 games, so he's been pretty good to this line here recently, and he's also gone under in 7 of his last 8 versus Boston. Boston has done a really good job of holding Giannis to a low PRA total, so I think that that's a pretty good spot as well. Boston also allows the 9th fewest points in the paint this year, so they've been really good at guarding the inside, which is of course where Giannis does thrive. Giannis is a very great slasher, and he's just a really great finisher around the rim just in general, so Boston takes that away. Boston does a really good job of defending that, and not to mention, Boston also allows the 9th fewest points per game and the 2nd fewest assists per game to that power forward position, so they don't really give up a ton of stats to that position just in general. Jason Tatum does a really good job of defending that, and while I don't exactly know who they're going to be throwing out on Giannis, could it be Jason Tatum? Of course. Could it be a guy like Al Horford? Of course. And while the Boston Celtics do have a couple guys questionable in both the Williamses, Grant Williams and Robert Williams, it looks like they're probably going to end up playing today, and if they do, I think that's going to make it even tougher on Giannis. So I really do love the spot here. I get it if you don't want to take this one. I get why you wouldn't want to take this one, but I do see some value in it. So that is going to be our second and final play of the day. Giannis under 55.5 PRAs here versus Boston at minus 109 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 13,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sander signing out. Peace.